The beautiful woman slowly regained consciousness, only to find to her horror that her mouth was sealed with thick duct tape and a pair of handcuffs tightly bound her to a rusty iron bed. On the neighboring bed, another young woman named Heather also restrained. The beauty asked in a panic where they were, only to be told they were aboard a ship, but the girl knew nothing about who had imprisoned them.
Somebody help! Right here! Help!
The only response was the sound of waves slapping against the hull. They were on a fishing boat stranded in the middle of the sea. At that moment, inside the cockpit, Tucker sat watching the surveillance screens, delighting in the helpless struggles of his prey. He munched on his food, the corners of his mouth curling into a wicked smile. Realizing that screaming for help was useless, Zephyr decided to save herself. She tried to find a hairpin or anything thin enough to pick the lock, but her attention was caught by a name carved into the wall beside the bed, clearly left by another girl before her. Zephyr realized that crying out would change nothing, and forced herself to stay calm, looking instead for a chance to escape. But the strength in her arms wasn't enough to break the cuffs. Through the weak and scattered whispers of the girl lying nearby, Zephyr finally pieced together the identity of the monster who had captured them. A few days earlier, Heather and her boyfriend had gone to the pier, planning to board a cruise to go shark watching, but they had stayed out too late the night before and missed the departure. Just when disappointment began to set in, an old fisherman approached them and said there was another boat that could take them out to sea. The captain was named Tucker, an experienced shark guide, a brawny man with thick muscles. Tucker had assured them it would be a trip they'd never forget. Tucker's job was to ferry tourists into the open sea and lower them into the water inside metal cages to watch sharks. Dangerous but thrilling work. He even showed off bite marks on his body from previous encounters with sharks. The girl was shocked and told him if she had escaped a shark attack, she'd never go near the ocean again. But Tucker fell silent for a moment, then muttered his own thoughts.
It's all the shark's fault.
His cage diving experience was extremely niche, only adrenaline junkies dared try it. Tucker expertly lifted a bucket of bloody fish guts and poured it into the water. The red trail spread like smoke in the blue sea. Before the dive, Tucker reassured them the cage was strong, no shark could break through. As the cage sank slowly into the deep, sharks drawn by the scent circled ominously. At first, the girl trembled with fear, clinging tightly to her boyfriend's arm, but gradually she realized the sharks couldn't breach the cage. She relaxed. Then she even began to enjoy the elegant, deadly movements of these ocean predators. She never imagined this thrilling adventure would turn into a nightmare. The half-hour dive ended quickly. The two of them climbed back onto the deck, faces beaming, excitedly describing the wonders they just witnessed below. It was in that moment of complete vulnerability that Tucker's eyes flashed with cold intent. In a blur, he drove his knife into the heart of an innocent soul. Before the girl could even react, her boyfriend had already been pushed overboard.
Welcome aboard.